Kenny, we're recording. Are you buzzing?
Yeah, there's a buzz in the air about the new game we're going to do a preview for. This is our preview for Hivernation.
Hivernation is a strategic tile placement game where you're either a drone or worker bee.
In the rulebook for Hivernation, there are several different gameplay styles that you can go with. First, we're going to talk about a basic game.
In the basic game, each player starts off with 10 tiles, either 10 drones or 10 workers.
And then you place the queen bee in the center of the gaming table, and then each player is on one side.
Each player will then take turns strategically laying out their tiles.
The goal of the game is to surround your opponent's tiles and flip them so that you have the most tiles by the end of the game. Each player keeps placing tiles and flipping over their opponent's tiles if they can until one player runs out of tiles. Then the next player places one more tile and the game is over.
The player with the most tiles wins.
Another style of gameplay listed in the rulebook is where this game really shines, and that's arcade mode.
Arcade mode features more tiles, workers or drones, for each player, plus it adds specialty tiles which have unique abilities that affect gameplay.
The flower tiles are fun because you can play a flower tile in the middle of a group of bees and flip over all of your opponent's tiles and then they become your bees.
The bear tile is unique in that wherever you place it, you lock in all the tiles that are touching it, so they can no longer be flipped. You notate that by adding these stopper tokens on top of all the ones that it's touching.
The pesticide tile is the most disruptive because wherever you place it, everything that's touching it is removed from the game.
The last specialty tile is the beekeeper. This tile allows you to trade it in for either another bee or specialty tile.
The same endgame rules apply to the arcade mode. It's still when one player plays their last bee tile, the other player gets a turn and then the game is over. We received this copy of Hivernation from Ramstar Games so that we could do this preview video. One thing to keep in mind is that we are doing a preview for a prototype, so some of the artwork may change, some of the box design may change.
When I first saw Hivernation, the first thing that caught my eye was just the artwork, okay? You know, there's a lot of different interpretations whenever it comes to animals or how we portray them, even insects, right? I thought maybe this would have been like a cute bee or something. It's not that. It's your more anatomically correct bee, and then they're wearing like construction hats or a scepter with a crown.
I also like that the tiles are hex tiles and that there's the hex tile pattern on the worker bees because it does look like a honeycomb on it. And then when you're laying it out, it does start to look like a honeycomb.
So whenever we're playing games, I really like to take a step back and appreciate the theming. This is about bees. So you've got the queen in the middle, Queen ZZ, and then you have all the other bees who basically surround the queen, or they grow from the queen. And that's how the gameplay is set up. You know, you have to start off at the queen and then what you do after, and etc. So I really like that.
If you've ever played the game Othello, then you'll notice that the basic rules of the game are very similar. You're laying tiles and flipping tiles by surrounding them. They call it the pincer move, where you have one on one side and one on the other, and then you flip over your opponent's tiles in the middle. However, where this game totally is different from that is in the arcade mode, and I think that that's where this game really shines. Is by adding the specialty tiles, it really adds a whole lot more strategy as far as what you have to do.
A lot of thought went into those specialty tiles. You know, if it was just the base game, like, okay, you go, then I go, then you go, then I go, like at some point it's just gonna be, I got 11, you got 9, or, you know, it could get close. But those specialties really change the tide of the game when you just get that one right move or the other person doesn't have just as good of a specialty.
One thing about strategic games like chess or Othello or like the basic version of this game, at a certain point you can kind of get locked in where you do a move and your opponent just does the opposite move and you just keep going back and forth. And it's almost a game of chicken as far as, well, who's going to stop first or who gets the last tile? That's going to be the person who wins. Adding the specialty tiles eliminates that because if you have a specialty tile, you can either stop that from happening or you can make a different move to totally change the area of attack on the board that you're trying to get to.
There were a couple points when we were playing where I had that inkling, like, okay, he did that, so I'm just going to do this, and he'll do that, and I'll do this, and as long as he keeps doing that, I win. But that face-down specialty tile got me thinking, like, what does he have under there? Maybe he wants me to do this. And then he plays something, and then boom, everything's all knocked out.
Something else about the game that I really liked is how quickly you can play the game. A, how quickly you can teach someone how to play the game, and B, how quickly the game actually lasts. If you're playing the basic mode, you'd be done in 5-10 minutes depending on how quickly you're going on each one. Even the arcade mode, if you're playing, maybe 20 minutes max is about what you're going to be playing. So if you just want a good, quick strategy game to either start the night off, or you're just like, you know what, we have 20 minutes to kill, let's play a game real quick. Bust this out, play it real quick, be done, and move on.
You can learn this very quickly. It's just, here's bees in a line. Is yours at this end? We'll put another one at this end, flip them all. It makes sense that you don't need to have any prior experience. You can still play the basic and then play the arcade, and then you'll know what you're doing.
Hibernation is also really easy to set up. Even the box is set up so that you can just take out the 10 tiles for each opponent, play down the queen tile in the center, and then just get started right away. Hibernation also has a good replayability factor because it doesn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes to play the basic one. So if you lose, there's no problem with you saying, hey, let's play again so I can try again.
Yeah, best of 3, best of 7, we're gonna keep playing.
Nobody beats me 100 times in a row. If you want to find out more about Hibernation or Backgate, we'll have a link to their Kickstarter in our description below. Or you can go to ramstargames.com. And that was our preview of Hibernation.
What'd you think? Are you ready to become the bee's knees? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you like our content, please subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Kenny.
Bzz.